Let's be real, the aviation workplace, whether it's the hangar or the flight line, is one of the most intense and demanding environments you can be in. You're surrounded by the roar of engines, the constant movement, all this incredible machinery. And in the middle of it all, your personal safety is, without a doubt, the number one mission. So today, we're going to build your personal defense system, piece by piece, layer by layer, to make sure you go home safe every single shift. So let me ask you something. You're in a hangar, right? It's full of millions of dollars of cutting-edge tools, incredibly powerful aircraft. What's the single most important safety tool you bring with you every single day? Think about it. Is it a fire extinguisher? A special wrench? Maybe a hard hat?
Well, here's the thing. The answer isn't something you can hold in your hand. Your most vital safety tool is your own awareness. It's a mindset. It's a constant practice that becomes the bedrock for everything else we're going to talk about. Because without it, all that safety equipment is just stuff. You are the one who makes it all work together as a system.
All right, so let's build this defense system, and we're starting right there at the foundation. Layer 1 is all about situational awareness. This is your first and honestly, your most critical line of defense against any hazard that could pop up in the workplace.
So what does that actually look like when you're on the floor? Well, first, it means you're always doing a 360-degree scan, knowing if a tow vehicle is coming up behind you. Second, it's about actually reading and respecting the warnings. That chemical label, that high voltage sign, it's there for a reason, probably because someone got hurt before. And third, it's about having the guts to speak up. A tiny, unreported hydraulic leak can turn into a huge, catastrophic failure. When you report something, you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting your entire crew.
All right, let's build on that. Moving on to layer 2, your armor. Once your mind is switched on and you're fully aware, it's time to protect your body. And that's where personal protective equipment, or PPE, comes in. This is literally the physical barrier standing between you and the hazards of the job.
Yeah, the official definition is pretty straightforward. It's gear you wear to minimize your exposure to serious harm. But I want you to think about it this way. It's not about trying to be invincible. It's about being professional enough to admit you're vulnerable and then taking the smart steps to stack the odds in your favor. Gearing up is a very deliberate process. It's a head-to-toe checklist you run through. You start with your eyes, protecting your vision from any flying debris. Then you move to your hearing, protecting it from that constant damaging noise. Then your feet, guarding them against falling tools or parts. Then your hands, shielding them from chemicals or sharp edges. And finally, you make sure you are seen so you stand out in that busy, complex environment. Every step is a conscious decision to protect yourself. And this really breaks it down. This isn't just a random collection of gear. It's a complete system designed to prevent permanent, irreversible harm. The noise from a jet engine doesn't just give you a headache, it causes permanent hearing loss. That's why your hearing protection is absolutely non-negotiable. A stray bit of metal can blind you. A dropped wrench can crush your foot. A chemical can burn right through your skin. Each piece of PPE stands between you and a life-altering injury. And that high-vis vest, it makes sure you're seen, preventing what could be the worst kind of accident imaginable. Okay, so your head's in the game, you're armored up. What's next? Layer 3. This is where we zoom out a little, from your body to your immediate environment, your zone. And this is all about proactive housekeeping. It's simple. A clean workspace is a safe workspace. Period. I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day, isn't it? Over on the left, you've got a safe zone. Walkways are clear, any spills are cleaned up right away, and tools are where they're supposed to be. But on the right, you've got a hazard zone. A misplaced box is now a trip hazard. That little bit of oil on the floor is a serious slip hazard. And all that clutter, it's just an accident waiting to happen. How you keep your workspace says everything about your commitment to safety. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important layer of defense. Layer 4, the system. This isn't just about you or your little corner of the hangar. This is about following the established rules and procedures that keep the entire operation running safely. The core principles here, they're not suggestions, they're absolute. Every single safety protocol you have to follow was probably written because of a past incident. Someone got hurt. It exists for a very good reason. And the technical manual? It's not just a recommendation. It is the only approved way to get a job done. In aviation, there's just no room for winging it or guessing. And if you boil all of that down, it comes to this one single, non-negotiable rule: never take shortcuts. That 5 minutes you think you're saving by skipping a step, that could be the exact moment you bypass a critical safety check. The stakes are just way too high. So as we put this all together, it's pretty clear that safety isn't just one thing. It's a system of reinforcing layers. Your awareness is the foundation it's all built on. Your PPE is your personal armor, your clean workspace is your safe zone, and following procedure is the system that holds it all together. Take one layer away, and the whole thing gets weaker.
Which brings us to one last, really critical question. After everything we've talked about, all the gear, all the rules, all the procedures, what is the single biggest safety hazard you will ever face on the job?
The greatest hazard of all is complacency. It's that little voice in your head that says, I've done this 1,000 times, or that won't happen to me. The moment you start believing a hazard doesn't exist is the moment you're most at risk. So remember, your most powerful tool will always be your awareness. The biggest threat is just forgetting to use it. Stay alert and stay safe out there.